You all are doing good. Welcome to today's live session. Today's our topic that is the risk assessment. Risk assessment is also the one of the most important topic, mostly interview, and I can say that this is because all our safety just rely on the risk assessment. Risk assessment. The word is also representing the risk means the danger, how we evaluate it. So each and every step we are going to discuss in this video. So stay connected till the end of this video. I hope so you will enjoy each and everything related to this, and it will be very much helpful for you for your interview in during your interviews. You will be able to give a proper answers after this session. So before you start any work, or you can say before you touch any machine, before you enter the any site, so there is only the one thing that I can say that decides whether you go home safe or not. So what that can be the thing? Can you tell me that? Can you tell me what that thing is that before you start any work, or I can say before you start any machine, before you start any work, or before you enter any site, there is one thing that decides whether you go home safe or not. Which one is that thing that actually decides about your safety? Mostly means almost you can say that that will decide about your safety, and that is, yes, my dear friends, not any other thing, that is a risk assessment. That is our topic today. So let me ask you honestly, do you think that a risk before any doing job, or you just start working? Do you check risk before start any work, or you just start working? Tell me in the comment section box if you do really risk assessment before start your work. So just type yes, or if you know, so just write no. So in this way I will be able to know about where you are locating right now, what is your current means the safety approach, and what is your current safety strategy about it. I'm waiting for your comment. Just write in the comment section box. Do you work start directly, or you do first risk assessment before starting work? Very good. I can see some yes or some no. Today, I will make sure after this session, you will never skip risk assessment again. Because risk assessment is one of the most important thing you have to do always before the start of the work, before any project. And so this is useful for you. Tell me one thing, why do accident happens? Is it because workers are weak, or is it because of machine are bad? Can you please tell me that? We don't think before we act, actually. That's why we are not thinking right now. We don't think before start. Risk assessment is very much important, my dear friends. Exactly. The most accident happen because that is a risk assessment. Mostly in our organizations, we don't do the risk assessment and we start work directly. So that is the main issue. So first of all, we have to understand one or two things. So after those things, you will be able to understand what is the risk assessment. So what is the first thing is the hazard. Do you know about the hazard? If yes, just write what is hazard. Right answer here. What is a hazard? Yes, my dear friends. Hazard is anything that can cause harm us. Simple as that. Means anything that has a potential to harm us, that is known as a hazard. Second most important thing is the risk, because after hazard and risk understanding, we will be able to find out the hazards, and we will evaluate the risk, and that is a risk assessment actually. So what is the risk? Risk is only, you can say that it is the chance that harm will actually happen. What harm will actually happen, that is known as the risk. So, do you have any example about hazard and risk you can share with me, guys? As you know that this is a two-way conversation sessions live on my on this channel. This is not only the one side. My aim is to make it a two-way conversational channel. Yes, my dear friends. Do you know about what is any example? Do you know about any example of hazard and the risk? Can you please give me the example? Okay, no issue at all. I'm giving you that one example. That is, for example, the fire is a hazard, and burning the skin is can be risk. Are you getting me? Fire is a hazard. For example, a chemical we can say it is a hazard, and the poisoning is a risk. So I hope so it is clear for now. Fire is a hazard, or burning of the skin is not a fire is a hazard. The burn is the risk. Similarly, the electricity is a hazard, and the shock is the risk. And the third example we took that was the chemical. Now it's your turn. Give me one example from your side. Are you understood or not? You can take example from your home as well. No issue at all. Yes, my dear friends. So our next most important thing is what is the risk assessment. There is the risk assessment. We can say that it is a process where we identify hazard. That I already told you what is hazard. The concept is clear, but the risk assessment is the process that depends on what is hazards. You have to identify the first step. You can write it. I'm just telling you. You can write it. The first step is identifying hazards. The second most important thing is the analyzing risk. After knowing hazards, you have to find out the risk, how much those hazards have a potential of the risk. And the third most important thing, that at the last we will control those hazards. Second is the analyzing risk of those hazards, and at the last you have to take a corrective actions, or you can say the control method. You have to apply control to reduce or eliminate them. So these are three main steps: identifying hazards, second is analyzing risk, and remember the last one is the control, that is most important. If you will be good enough in the control, so your chances, you if you will provide the best strategies to the interviewer how you can control it, so definitely you will crack your interview for your job. So before starting work, think first and then work later. This is the one most important thing about this risk assessment. Let me tell you a real situation. Yes, a worker, for example, you can think a worker that is who was means using a ladder, and he didn't check the condition of those ladder. So ladder was weak. Consider it, the ladder was weak, and he climbed on the ladder, and suddenly he fell. So what will happen? The serious injury. Yes, we know that the serious injury can be happen if he will use the broken ladder. So in this way, he didn't done any risk assessment, and he just started work, and he didn't even check the ladder, and he climbed on the ladder. So that's why the serious injury happened. So now tell me, was the accident sudden or the predictable? If the ladder was broken, so the risk was means, or the accident was suddenly happened, or it was a predictable. Just write sudden or the predictable. I'm just want to see from your side, are you getting me or not the concept? I just want to share my concept to you guys. Is it predictable or just a sudden accident? Definitely that was a predictable, because the ladder was broken, but he didn't check it out, and he just started to climb on that ladder, so that the risk was the predictable. Exactly. If the risk assessment was done, for example, if risk assessment was done, this accident could be prevented. Are you getting me? Because he didn't check it. If he could means check that ladder, so this accident could be prevented. So this is the main reason I told you that you must have to find out the risk before you have to do the risk assessment before start the work, and then you have to start your work. So now understand risk assessment in a simple method or simple steps. The first one, that is identifying hazard. Identifying hazard means the finding hazards at your workplace. What hazards are? For example, if you are working in a flammable, for example, in a hydrocarbon industry, in oil and gas company, so you have to check it out all the pipelines. Either there is a no leakages of the hydrocarbons, or either there is well housekeeping or not, or the valves or the flanges, you can say, are tightly packed or not, tightly tightened or not. Each and everything you have to check it out. If there is any temperature gauges on the pipelines, you have to check it out, each and everything. This process is known as the identifying hazards. Are you getting me or not? Yes, my dear friends, you can write. So in this way I will be able to know you are getting me. Are you getting me or not? The first step is the identifying hazards. Look around where you are working and find out the hazards. For example, the slippery floor. Mostly in oil and gas industries, we workers fall down the oil, and the surface can be the slippery. So this one is one example of the hazard. We can say that the sharp edges of our equipments, or the pipelines, there is a frames of the pipelines. Mostly we see that there are sharp edges, so mostly the workers don't wear their helmet, and they can get effect on those sharp edges. Another has chemicals and the noise in industry, mostly because of the boiler, or you can say the exchangers are working there, so noise can be the hazard. So hazards, for example, the chemicals, or sharp edges, or slippery floors, or broken ladders, these are the hazards you have to identify. The first step is to identify these hazards at your workplace. Are you getting me? So when you enter a site, just tell me that, do you observe surrounding or go directly to the work? Yes, my dear friends. Whenever you do start works, do you find something before you start work, or you just directly go to your work? The second step, first one was the identifying hazards, and the second step is who can be affected. After knowing hazards, you have to evaluate by yourself who can be affected. Definitely we know that the employees, but who will be affected means how many people, what are their positions, what are their designation in that industry. For example, you can say the workers, those work there. Sometimes new visitors come to, for example, third parties mostly come for the inspection. So visitors can be affected, and the public as well, if that company is openly, or some companies, many people come to just see that for internship, like these processes. So the visitors, workers, and the public can be affected. So only workers are at risk, or the visitors also? You can share with me. Yes, my dear friend. Yes, my dear friends. Can you share me? Only the workers can be affected, or the public as well? Definitely, the workers also can be affected, and the visitors as well. Now, the third step, most important step, is evaluate the risk, how dangerous it is. The first one was the identifying hazards. Second, who will be affected, and the third most important step is evaluate the risk. This is the most important method, most important, the step, that is evaluate the risk. In my last video, I uploaded the risk assessment matrix. From that, you have two things, the likelihood and the consequences, the product of these two things. You can find out how to evaluate the risk. So watch that video, and you will be able to find out the risk easily. So in the evaluate risk, we have to experience two things. Like the likelihood means that only we can say that in one word, that is a chance, and the severity means the damage. So high chance plus high damage is equal to high risk. If there's occasionally things, means the low chance and the low risk, means low damage, so the risk will be the low. You can easily find out in the risk matrix. So third step is the evaluate risk. Keep in mind, the third step is the evaluate the risk. Which is most dangerous, low chance with damage, or high chance or low damage? Do you know it? Our fourth step would be control measures, also most important. First one is identifying hazards. Second, you have to know who will be affected. Third is evaluate the risk. Okay. Third is evaluate the risk, and the fourth now is a control measures. Now we control the risk. That is most important thing. For example, there are three or four steps. You can say mostly we can use. We can say the hierarchy of control. This video is already uploaded on my channel. Hierarchy of the control. There are 5 steps of controlling. First one is the elimination. If there is a possibility for you to eliminate that risk, so eliminate that means if there is not a most important work related to that hazard, you can remove it. Second is the substitution, means alternative. If there is any alternative possibility for you, you use the alternative of that thing, so that is the substitution. The third thing is the engineering controls. you have to apply engineering controls. And the fourth one is from the administration, administrative control, how administration can facilitate to the workers according to that hazard that is known as administrative control. And the last, the important thing, that is a PPE. I already discussed in my last videos what is the PPE, personal protective equipments, like the gloves, shoes, helmets. So these are the protective equipments of the personals. So these 5 steps we have to follow up for the control of the risk. We can say this is the most important topic, the control measures. These are the 5 steps. First one is the elimination, second is the substitution, third is the engineering controls, fourth is the administrative control, and the last one is the PPE. So PPE is the last option, not the first. So it means you have to wear all the time, no issue at all. But you can say that why PPE is the last. Anyone know it? So the risk is not permanent, my dear friends. Conditions change. Risk is not permanent, but the condition change. Are you getting me or not? Like the weather changes, new workers can come, and the new equipment you install. These all things matters in the risk assessment. Keep in mind one thing. So no risk assessment means no safe work. If you will not do the risk assessment before you work, so from my opinion, I would like to say that you not have to do work even though, because without risk assessments there are a lot of hazards, and there are a lot of possibility. You can say that there is a possibility can be effect from those hazards. So that is a better to do the first risk assessment and then you have to do the work. So I hope so this is all things are means clear for you. And if you are thinking that this is content, valuable content for you guys, and you are getting a new thing, so just like this video and share with your friends, and also subscribe the channel, because I do a lot of effort to make these videos for you guys to update, to guide you about the safety things. So just subscribe this channel. If you are new one, subscribe the channel and share with your friends, co-workers, and like the video. So you have means you can say that we have understood today in this lecture what is the hazard, what is the risk, and what is the risk assessment. We have done all the 5 steps. So remember, every accident happens because risk was ignored. Mostly we don't do the risk assessment and the accident happens. So if you are serious about becoming a safety officer, really, if you are very much important, this thing I'm telling you, that if you are really much means important, you are really interesting in the safety officer or safety supervisor, even safety engineer, safety manager, any post in the safety field. So these things not only means helpful for you in your career as well, but it will be also helpful for you in your real life as well, because you have to always do the risk before driving as well. For example, before going a long journey trip for visiting any other city, for example, or if you are doing outing with your friends as well. So the risk is anywhere. Risk is anywhere. So similarly, hazards are everywhere. For example, if you are diving, or you are means you can swimming, so you have to take a safety jacket, that the swimming jacket. So means the risk is everywhere, hazard is everywhere. You have to protect yourself all the time. So because if we will do the risk assessment before start work, maybe someone is waiting for us, for example our family at home, so they will be happy more. So if you are serious about becoming a safety officer or any means position you wanted, so subscribe now and just join this journey with me, guys, and support me. And because here you learn practical safety, not only the theoretical. So, and tell me in the chat what should I make the video on the next topic. You can suggest me for the next topic as well. So right now I'm thinking about permit to work as well, and the lockout takeout as well. So which topic I have to select, you help me out today in the comment section box, so I will be happy to see your comments. So till the next session, till the next video live session, stay strong, take care, bye bye.